What's up, guys? Subzeric here, back for another VOD review. Today we got another game from Tacticians Cup Trace, and this is a game from Wasianiverson. You can already see we got an interesting portal. York always lets you field at least 7 champions, regardless of level, gain 10 gold. And this, in some ways, but also not in some ways, is going to enable a reroll comp this game from Mr. Wasianiverson that is one that we don't see too often on this current patch. A lot of people rate it quite poorly, you know, it's interesting. It's interesting because there's some people who may even go as far to say that this comp is sleeper OP. This is the Senna Ghostly Reroll comp that I'm sure you guys all know and love. This is a comp that, you know, existed a lot more earlier in the set. It was one of like the first reroll comps to really pop off in the set. And yeah, I think Wasian thinks very highly of this comp, actually, interestingly enough. Demasi and Raptor popped into his chat after this game, and he asked him a question that I'll speak to a little bit once we get further into the game, once we get our Ink Shadow. But yeah, we're gonna hold on to the Aatrox here, which I think makes perfect sense. I was gonna be really surprised if he held on to Rivet instead of Aatrox, because we do have already the Caitlyn too, so we do want to be holding on to this. I'd love to hold both. I'm actually a bit surprised that he held on to some of these other units, actually, to go back here and just look this close. I mean, I guess he doesn't know for sure that he's playing this line, but I feel like the most reasonable option is buy, and then sell Yasuo and buy this. Why are we holding on to this Yasuo in this opener when we could be holding on to a Riven for 2 Bruiser? I'm not really sure. I mean, I guess he's thinking of Fated as a possibility, so it makes the most sense to sell Garen then at that point, because Garen's never coming in. So yeah, I guess the idea is hold Garen, or even like Koboko you could sell, because like, are we really playing 4 Bruiser? But yeah, surely it's sell Garen, right? Hold Yasuo for potential Fated. I think he maybe just sort of ran out of time, which, you know, I get the benefit of pausing, but Wasian doesn't have that. Itemization-wise, we have a bow, a belt, and a cloak here. Renan's is a pretty decent slam in a lot of these more AD-type comps. Kills your last Whisper component, which is a little bit scary. You could also just go Even Shroud and hold on to the bow, but that also is kind of awkward because bow very often wants to be last Whisper in these comps, so yeah. I'm actually interested to see what Wasian takes here. When you're in this portal, when we have all of these units, something like a Silver Veil is actually a lot better because it's giving that effect to 7 different units, which is really big. So I wouldn't even be shocked to see a Silver Veil pick up here. Iron Access, of course, is quite good. But once again, like, the gold that we already have is sort of devalued because we already have a decent amount of gold from the portal, and the component is a little bit devalued because we have so many units, so like individual components are not that big. You really want like the team-wide buffs here, stuff like Unified, stuff like Exiles, even stuff like Featherweights, which maybe could be assigned to play this comp. And we watched some of this game on the co-stream, but I do not recall at all what augments Wasian ended up picking it here. Like, I could certainly see it be Featherweights. The problem is we don't have that Senna yet, so you can't really like commit here. So I guess I fully expect it to be an Iron Assets. It's really hard to take Featherweights and just hard commit to a reroll comp here. Yeah, I think this makes perfect sense. We are going to fit in as many Ghostlies as possible. There's the Koboko in. And yeah, it would just feel a little bit better if we could cut this for something that actually does something. I guess you can fit in Behemoth right now. Would be fine. And you could even fit in Heavenly over one of these sniper units, but it's all right. Yeah, so this looks like the board. And he is actually going to fit in Heavenly there. Okay. So, ooh, nothing really that I'm that hyped for. I guess the idea is you could make Renan's Redemption and then just call it a day there with your items. You really badly want to double slam here. So I guess that's what you do here, Renan's Redemption and throw Redemption onto the Shen, and think about, you know, that item sitting on Shen for a while. Yeah, because when you have these 4 components here, it like, part of the strength of Iron Assets is that it gives you the ability in a 3-component opener to slam 2 items. If we don't slam an item, then we're losing a lot of that power from Iron Assets. So something to think about there. There's the Ribbon that we get back. We do have Fated as a possibility in this shop here. Are you interested in cutting these 2 units and playing Yasuo plus Kindred? I think I would be. I don't really value Behemoth that much on just this unit, and I don't really value Heavenly that much, though. Heavenly does buff the entire team, just a little bit less. Maybe you do value it just because it's a team-wide buff. I don't know. We'll see. I think I would be tempted to go Fated here, itemize the Aphelios here, because yeah, we're going to be buffing the unit that we itemized, but I wouldn't be shocked to see him keep Heavenly in here, but it is a consideration. I'm curious to see how good he thinks Heavenly is actually on this board, because if he keeps Heavenly in, he knows that he could be playing Fated here. I guess the other thing is, does he want to itemize Aphelios? I probably would, just because Caitlyn is a little bit harder to find back later. And ooh, he's not even going to slam the Renan's Hurricane. So yeah, he's going to keep these items open. I don't know if this fight's a Renan stiff because the Sisu is pretty strong. Though it's actually a really, really close fight. This fight, if we lose it, certainly would be a Renan stiff. It looks like we're going to just barely win it out. Surely we got to make gold here. Yeah, and we're going to hold on to a lot of this stuff, okay, and not care about a lot of the other stuff. We do have Force Sniper in on this board, and we have this, which is... Okay, so this is the first sort of decision point that I want to talk about, is that... It's not really a decision point, but it's the first point that I want to talk about, I guess, which is Tattoo of Bombardment. If you look at a lot of the stats, and I'm actually going to pull up some stats here and see, because I looked at some of the other stats, but didn't look exactly at this one. But yes, even this stat. So if you just go into Tactics.Tools Explorer and you pull up Senna 3-star, Tattoo of Bombardment is the best one by far, right? Tattoo of Protection is actually the worst because it's bugged, though I've heard tale that you can unbug it. The idea with protection being bugged is that it gives a shield as if you are a 1-star champion based on your 1-star HP, even if you're 2-star or 3-star, which can be really bad, right? If you have this onto like a 3-star Shen or something. I've heard that if you just take the unit out and put it back in every round, or like take the tattoo off and put it back in every round, then it fixes this bug. I have not been able to confirm that myself, but that's what I've heard. But I talked about this on stream the other day. Never trust a TFT player. I feel like they always say some just random garbage. Yeah, I was actually thinking about this board, right? The problem is, what do you actually cut here to play for Sniper? Because you want to keep in the 3 ink really, really badly, and then you want to keep the Riven in. So then you're forced to cut like this plus this is the idea, but then you have to sell the Redemption, which feels really, really bad. So are we not playing for Sniper here? I guess you could cut Riven. You could just cut Riven. It would be cut. Lose Behemoth, lose that. You lose a lot of frontline, but you have an okay amount of frontline, and you get the Force Sniper in here. I really, really want to find a way to fit Force Sniper in here, because Force Sniper is so strong. The only issue is then you just don't have a frontline synergy in. You don't have Bruiser, and you don't have Behemoth in. Perhaps this is just the strongest board. Yeah, I guess it kind of has to be. So hard to fit Force Sniper on this board. Interesting. All right. We have the tattoo onto Caitlyn. This is something that I think a lot of people have talked about. It's just that Caitlyn is a fantastic item holder in the early game, in not necessarily just this comp, but just in this game that we all call TFT. Whoa! Are we not making 30 here, Wasian? What are we doing? What? Oh, that was really close. That was really close. Okay, he got it into the team builder, but that was scary. That was scary to me. All right, we would love to pick up this glove here for the Last Whisper. This is why we greeted to not make the cloak item here. If we cannot pick up Last Whisper, what are we left with? We have cloak open here. You can, I guess, just pick up the Shen here, make a gargoyles, and live with it. I think that's pretty reasonable. We have cloak open, right? So yeah, it would just be gargoyles onto Shen. We're kind of close to Shen too. I love this from Wasian, by the way. We're doing a lot of scouting here to see how contested these units actually are. This is one of the biggest things, because this is not I would say like an SSS tier comp, though like maybe some people think that it is. We'll see this game. But you really want to make sure you're uncontested. The Alawi in makes perfect sense here. Yeah, you can just cut the Malphite for that. This unit fits so well onto this board. This is like the basic version of the board, and we just have a random Riven in supporting everybody. So yeah, this should be the board. You can be very happy with it. He actually even calls the comp at this point, and he is looking at slamming the gargoyle here, which I think is perfect. Interesting, do you make gold or not? For example, like, we have this 5 here, which brings us to 38. If we win this fight, would you sell this Shen and make gold? Well, maybe we're not going to have to worry about it. He does slam the bow onto the Senna here, which is interesting that we have the bow and the tattoo separated. I'm not really sure why we're doing this. I assume, like, if we... No. Okay, I understand why he's doing this, because Caitlyn 2 is a better unit than Senna 1, so he wants to just... Ooh, I think you just take Component Anvil here. I think you're rich enough that you can. But yeah, Caitlyn 2 is a better unit than Senna 1, but you don't want to commit the bow to Caitlyn because you know that Caitlyn's going to stay on your board. I think you could actually probably open this and always pick Glove if you get the option. The only downside is if you don't get Glove, then you kind of get punished for opening it. So we should just wait to see our fight here. We're fighting Minhee, who has a pretty good board, but we have no streak to protect. So yeah, it looks like Wasian's just going to hold on to the Anvil. I think this is pretty reasonable. He has no streak to play for, and he wins the fight anyway. So nice. We win that. We are going to pre-level here. I haven't talked about it at all, but because we're in this portal, the value of leveling is basically nothing. We can't field any extra units until we get to level 8, and we're going to be sitting level 6 for almost the entire game. But the pre-level there, because it's not going to change the amount of gold that we're going to make this round. As long as we get one singular gold dropped, we're going to still make 50, but we get slightly better unit odds. We ended up getting an Aatrox from that shop, so smart stuff from Wasian, and yeah, we still get to make the 50. Pick up an Alawi, which is really nice. These items a bit awkward, because like I said, the last Whisper is the slam, but then after that, the bow item's a bit awkward. Could be like a Renounce, like I said. Your ideal slam is an Infinity Edge. It's Last Whisper Infinity Edge here, so we'll see how Wasian plays around that sort of greeting of items. You could make a red buff, you can, but the problem is it kills your bows, and you really want Last Whisper onto this setting unit. So fully expect him to crack open this this anvil here. See what we got. It's always got to be glove, I'm pretty sure. There's no way we take anything else. I think now that I have LW on Senna, I would probably move items over, but looks like he's still keeping the tattoo on the Caitlyn until we pick up a Senna too, which is interesting. But I could see it. You want to keep all of your items ideally on the same unit because, items scale multiplicatively, but looks like he still thinks Caitlyn is a better unit, better enough than Senna. She's still dealt a little bit more damage than Senna there. So, yeah, I mean, I think he's just a big Caitlyn fan, and I think it makes sense. Haunted House here, fantastic pickup when you are playing around this comp. Once again, if you just look at Senna 3 stats and you look up Haunted House, I'm sure, yeah, 3.76 here. Even better at 3, too, because that's when you actually start having a lot of your ghostlies and your ability to actually buy time and kill units. That's the big thing with Haunted House, because I've taken this augment before as just first augment, even with like a 4 ghostly setup, but the problem is you have to kill units. And so if you just have 4 ghostly with no way of actually killing units, then it doesn't really do that much. But with this setup, it actually works quite well. I fully expect Wasian to roll a little bit here, certainly to roll this like 4 of this 6 gold here. He doesn't. Wow, he's holding on to these Threshes. I'm shocked that he doesn't roll here for Senna 2. I mean, Senna 2 and Alawi 2. The big thing is that we already hit a lot of this other stuff, so looks like we're probably going to be fine. But I'm really surprised he doesn't roll this this Thresh gold, considering this was a relatively close fight. If this guy had 1 or 2 more upgrades, we certainly would have lost there. So I'm quite surprised we don't roll there with Senna pair, but okay. I mean, surely we roll this round to look for it. Boom, there's Alawi 2. Oh, this is the idea, is that he was holding on to the Thresh for the opportunity to play Thresh 2 on this board. All right. That's so smart from Wasian here. He is going to end up moving the tattoo over here, so maybe he always wanted it there. But yeah, he's going to play Thresh 2 onto this board. It's a much better unit than the Kobuko 2 that we were playing before. All right, so he paid a little bit of sort of like rolling gold, but he ended up still winning that fight, and now we have a Thresh 2 on our board. So smart stuff by Wasian to stay open to different frontline options. The 7th slot on this board is very, very, very flexible, just because, yeah, you want to play the 4 Ghostly plus Ink Shadow plus everything, but after that, kind of anything goes. Item-wise here, so we already have Redemption, and we have Belt open. We already have Last Whisper, so it can't be Even Shroud. Could be Sunfire Cape to guarantee the heal cut. I think I would just look at a Renons here, though you could also just say, like, take Glove here and look for the IE. My problem with that is that we are then 3 components open, which I really don't like. So I think I would feel tempted to just go grab a Renons here and slam that onto the Senna. Maybe he's just going to take the Belt and slam the Sunfire. I could see this as well. Or maybe slam nothing, I guess, but I don't know. I would be surprised. I think you rolled a 40 here. I personally would roll a 40 here. I love this from Wasian, by the way. Really diligent stuff is he is scouting his opponents to see if he actually needs to roll a 40, because he does have infinite upgrades here. So, like you look at a board like this, actually, this board's pretty scary. I feel like I would really like a Senna 2 versus this board, but maybe he can tough it out. This board, I think we're completely fine versus. I think we always beat this board. And then this board as well looks pretty reasonable to beat. There's very few upgrades, so perhaps you don't roll below 50 here. It's really just, yeah, that duelist board that you want to roll for, but maybe it's fine. Yeah, he is going to end up making the Sunfire, throw that onto Mean Mr. Xian, and ooh, he's looking at not putting it onto the Shen. He's going to throw it onto the Alawi here. The idea being that I want just a bunch of big tank items onto the Shen. Like, I want my Shen to be my actual tank, and then Alawi can sort of be like a secondary tank here. I think this actually makes a lot of sense. The only problem, I mean, the other thing is that we were going to win this fight regardless. But yeah, Shen can kind of tank for Alawi and do double duty there. I think it makes a decent amount of sense. Going to roll down here. Boom, there's finally the Senna 2. So now we have fully hit all of our upgrades. The only slightly scary thing about this spot is it's 3-6, and we just now found Senna 2. You'd really like to be like 5 Sennas by this time. So a little scary. Love this Alawi positioning where she's going to walk up here and apply Sunfire on all of these units. Just really, really nice stuff from Wasian. And he gets to greed the Shen Gargoyle value. So that is a full 6 streak here. And you can start to see why people have pretty good expectations about this comp, especially with Tattoo of Bombardment. Some have said that the comp is playable even without Tattoo of Bombardment. With any tattoo, you can play it, as long as you end up in a spot where other people are rolling for 2 costs, so they're thinning out the pool for you. This is not so much a lobby where that's the case. There is that one person holding onto Luxes. Maybe they're playing around Lux reroll, but it's not a case where I would say a million people are playing this. We are one Atrox off of Atrox 3, so I fully expect us to roll down. We also do, I would think, still need to find the Senna. Looks like we're checking stats here for how good Renan's is on Senna, and hey, like, I mean, if he's doing it, why don't we do it? We can just look at Senna 3 here once again, just make it a little bit easier. We'll go on item count 3 as well, just to make it more reasonable, and then look at the delta here. Renan's looks fantastic in the statistics. You can also go to builds here and look at this and look for stuff. You see a lot of, actually, I'm surprised you see so many Gwinsus, but I think it's just frequently built. But Gwinsu tends to, you can see the stats, this is an absolute trap on this unit, so good to be able to say this. Don't build Gwinsu on this Senna unit. Is just one of our worst items, honestly. You can see positive. It's one of the highest positive deltas, and positive means bad in TFT, and it's still the most frequently built item. I don't know why people build this Gwinsu item onto Senna. In a pinch, if you have to build it, you can, but you see a build here, Tattoo of Fury plus IE plus Last Whisper, hugely negative delta, and then a similar build, except we have Gwinsu in, and it's positive delta, or this, positive delta. Almost every build with a Gwinsu, you can see positive delta, positive delta. This one just barely negative, so do not build Gwinsu. The stats seem to suggest that Renan's is fine on her, not amazing. You definitely prefer an IE here, and we are just going to roll down, try to pick up some stuff. Actually, a bit of a slow roll from Mr. Wasian here, because he could have certainly hit this Aatrox. I think he was just not sure how good Renan's was on Senna, but I mean, theoretically it makes sense. Keeps our rod open for a final Shen item like a Crown Guard or something. So yeah, I think it's completely reasonable. I think you just take Accomplice here. I don't think either of these two augments do that much for us. I guess Harmesis is not bad. Once again, we could do a little stats check here and just look at how Harmesis does with Senna. 4.18 is pretty good. And then Accomplice looks like it blows it out of the water, 3.89. And I feel like it makes more sense to take Accomplice here. And yeah, we are just going to angle it. I'm not taking Final Ascension here. Yeah. So there's our gloves. Roll down, pick up the Aatrox 3. We could theoretically hit something else 3-star here. And my god, this is a roll down. Continue to roll here. We are 1 off Senna. I think rolling to 30, maybe even 20 is good. That's a double Alawi shop. Continuing to roll here. Oh my god, we're going to 0. Oh wow, what a roll down. Okay, I mean, I love this from Wasian there. And ooh, we just barely don't get the beam onto the Senna, but at least we get it onto a lot of the relevant units. Yeah, I think in that position, I think you do exactly what Wasian does, where you are protecting a really, really big win streak. You are on an 8 streak here, so you want to keep that, and you're 1 off Senna. The chance of you hitting is so big, and the value of leveling is not even that high, right? I mean, it's always support anvil here, right? It's a little bit awkward with the support item already, but there's so few artifacts that you can make usage of here. We already have Shred, so we don't really need Obsidian Cleaver. We already have Sunfire, so we don't really need Eternal Flame. Shroud of Stillness looks pretty good. It's either Shroud or Locket. I think I would take Shroud because I think it's going to be kind of awkward to position this and to position Locket. But we'll see. That's my logic here. Looks like he just wants Locket, though. Yeah, he's going to stack up the support items and do something like this. Yeah, like, I'm just a little bit afraid that sometimes we'll have situations where the support anvil will make it hard to position Locket and this, or the Accomplice gloves, but for now, looks fine. We'll see how it ends up. I am surprised that we have this Alawi on the edge, but I guess it is already one of the situations where, like, we got to put Alawi somewhere. It's just, I'm afraid of the Sunfire dying, but looks like Alawi will never die. We are absolutely going to stomp a replays board here, and at this point, we're just looking to econ back up, right? We're looking to go level 7 and then find Alawi on 7. This case scenario, we just high roll Alawi on this current level or next level. And yeah, Wasian looking at the Crown Guard here. It's the best item to take in this position for sure. Onto our Shen, 3rd item. Yeah, well, I wonder actually, because let's do a little, let's look at our units. Yeah, we just had Alawi 3, and we're only 3 Shens. I wonder if we just make this onto Alawi instead and go for, yeah, oh, I love this, So we're going to make Crown Guard, make Redemption here, and then just move all the items over to Alawi. Beautiful. Oh, I don't know why I didn't even think of this. Yeah, you just pop these items off with Alawi 3, and now you have 3 item Alawi 3, boom, and then you just slam the Sunfire onto something like Shen, something like Thresh. Yeah, I guess it can be Thresh for now. Eventually, it'll probably be Shen, but Thresh for now makes a lot of sense. You want Thresh in the middle with this locket onto him, and so yeah, I think this makes perfect sense. And now we have an Alawi 3 to play around. So I would say this is the high roll version of the board. I would not at any point say that this is like, ooh, another support item, man. Oh my god. We already have like infinite attack speed, so I would actually shy away from something like a Zeke's here. Needlessly Big Gem is kind of redundant in this comp. I think I would just take Virtue of the Martyr here and throw it onto like Jax. The other option is like Armor Namar from Randuin's, but once again, I'm afraid of having like too difficult to position stuff, so I'd go Virtue here, throw it onto Jax, let him die early enough, and guarantee that you're getting stats for this Alawi. I think makes perfect sense, and yep, that's what we're gonna go for. Move the Zeke's down to our backline here, and oh, he actually throws the Virtue onto the Thresh, so he wants it to live a decently long time. That's kind of interesting. Also, we are looking at Setsuko, by the way, in a really, really insane spot. If you guys didn't catch that, 52 fortune stacks, and he is 1 round from cashing out. I believe he does end up losing this round and going up to 70 stacks. I know he's 2 rounds from cashing out, actually. Setsuko is here. So he ends up going up to 70 stacks here, and he has 1 more round that he has to survive because he's 14 HP. I know this because we watched this game from a decent amount of Setsuko's POV on the co-stream because, I mean, how could you not watch Setsuko try to cash out a 90 stack cash out with hedge fund? I mean, yeah, how could you not? But yeah, I mean, at this point, we're just looking to push levels here. We're really looking to go level 8 so that we can start actually getting in some more Ghostly units. The 6 Ghostly over the Thresh is a very reasonable idea. And with tier open here, I imagine this just becomes a Shen item here. Yeah, just pinging on Setsuko there. Ooh, the Shogen on the Senna there. But yeah, look at this, 70 stack Setsuko, and he's just hoping that someone will kill him, but Setsuko actually positions well for him here. Setsuko also rolled it all down with the hedge fund gold, found an Irelia 2 with Umbral Spat, and so Setsuko manages actually to get a perfect loss here. So funny that Wasian ended up pinging him, and then Wasian's the one that fights him and gives him the cash out here. So 90 stack cash out. Check this out here. It is 2 duplicators, an Ornn item, and a bunch of gold and some 5 costs. Or not an Ornn item, a support item, a Randuin's. Actually, like, kind of weak sauce for a cash out here. I think Setsuko, with all the gold that he already had, would actually prefer more stuff, but this does allow him to roll down and pick up a really, really crazy board here. Everyone, by the way, doing super rat gameplay. You run over Setsuko while he's trying to move his items and do everything, and you ping on him and you emote. This is like advanced TFT ratting. I don't know if you guys have seen this happen to you in your games. It's happened to me in my games when I get into high enough elo, because people just want to disrupt you while you're trying to do this transition and roll down. Especially this is hard when you have a bunch of items on your bench, because people just run up onto your bench and then hide your items by sitting on top of them, which is actually just hilarious. So Setsuko gets to a decently strong board there, but notably not an incredibly strong board, especially with that cash out not being that good. Wasian's going to win this fight, and if we look to Mr. Setsuko, we will see that he ends up actually losing that fight, which is so tragic for Setsuko. It's fine. He still made it to the final day. Like, he didn't need that placement, I believe, but you know, Setsuko doing Setsuko stuff is so fun to see. We're gonna level here. Yeah, we still get to make 40 gold here, so I think this is perfect. We get a bruiser in here. Of course, the ideal is the 6 Ghostly here, but we would prefer we would prefer, you know, like whatever. This is really smart from Wasian, actually. I didn't realize this because we weren't watching his POV here, but he's got 7 Caitlyn's. He makes the Shojin for Caitlyn, and he says, I want to look for Hui here. That's so smart, because Hui in 2 rounds is going to print him a Caitlyn 3. Ionic Spark also fantastic pickup here. We don't have any MR Shred at this point in the game, and we really want MR Shred with Ghostly. But yeah, I didn't even see Wasian go for this, but this is such smart stuff here. You want to get Hui in here. You could fit it on level 9 with 6 Ghostly still, print 2 Caitlyn's, and then look to add something else. That's just great stuff from Wasian, and I think something that not a lot of people would angle for when they're playing this Ghostly comp is putting a Hui in Team Planner. But yeah, he holds on to the Caitlyn's. He's not like selling them to make econ or anything, because he knows that he can play for max cap this game. Especially, look at his win streak, by the way. He has not lost a fight in 15 rounds with this board. My god. Did he just roll there? I thought perhaps that we were just going past 9. Did he? Am I crazy, or did he roll there? Maybe it was just the shop rolling over and I'm losing it, and he was like scouting. Okay, I guess he didn't roll. Yeah, that was just the shop rolling over. Okay. For some reason, I'm losing it. It's okay. But yeah, I mean, he's going fast 9 in this position. Look how much gold he has. Look how much of a streak he has. This Senna just chewing through entire boards. I mean, This game certainly makes a strong case for this comp being strong, because this is the high roll spot for it, for sure. But when you're on a 15 streak, there's got to be something to this comp, right? If a comp can 15 streak from a great setup like this, then it looks good. And oh my god, we just barely keep the 16 streak huge. Look at this HP, by the way. There's the Hui finally. Look at this HP, 94 HP on Wasian, and then next is 20, and then 12, and then 8. He's got more HP than the rest of the lobby combined, and then doubled, right? The rest of the lobby has 40 HP. He's got more than double the rest of the entire lobby combined. That is just some baller stuff from Wasian here. Imagine that we would just level here and keep streak, but maybe he's like, I'm strong enough that, you know what, F it, I'm just going to sack one round. Okay, yeah, I would... Okay, yeah, he is just going to say, I'm going to chill for one here. I'm this healthy, I'm this strong. If I lose the fight at the end of the day, it's not the end of the world. And if I win the fight, then I get way more gold to roll down with on 9. My thought is that, like, I don't really care about the unit. I really just want to get, like, one Ghostly in. But looks like Wasian says, you know what, my board's strong enough. Who needs to roll? I'm sitting here, 50 gold on a 17 streak, killing off X-Leo, and I got basically 1 or 2 more fights in this game's over. So fully expect to see a big roll down from Wasian here. He wants to just pick up 6 Ghostly here. There's the Morgana. There's another Hui. There's Morgana 2 onto the board. Do want to find a Kayn as soon as possible. Picks up another Morgana. Another Morgana. Okay. He thinks for a second about Morgana 3 and then says, you know, who cares about Morgana 3? Sadly, we couldn't actually get 6 Ghostly in. We're still playing this random Thresh on our board and the Hui, which can come out next round as well. So, yeah, a little bit... sad that we couldn't actually get the full roll down there, but look how much damage our board is doing with this Ghostly. The Ghostly really just cares about having a long enough fight to get to these Ghostly, all the ghosts being on one unit, and you can see, once all those ghosts are on one unit, the fight is way too easy. We just destroy everyone. Also, the ideal of this board, he's holding onto the Nautilus because his idea is he's going to get Udyr in over the Jax eventually, but I must say, after these last couple of upgrades, I don't know if this fight, or I don't know if this game is going to last another fight. I think this is going to be the end of it. Yep, Wasian and just farming 94 HP dub on this reroll comp. So cool to see. So, hope you guys enjoyed this video. I will say, we were co-streaming this yesterday. We're going to be co-streaming it today, so check the link in the description for a link to Kai's co-stream for the final day of Tacticians Cup. We're going to see potentially huge implications for who's going to Worlds and who's going to Regionals. So, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Go check out the co-stream, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching. Bye.